What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining me right here on Outside the Brand. This is another episode of Outside the Brand. We are here on episode 276 for your November 13th, 2022. I'm your host, Phil, and of course, this is Outside the Brand. Thank you so much for joining me on your Sunday nights, wherever you may be. Now, guys, I'm thinking about doing this a lot more often, coming to you guys on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, just giving you guys a good chunk of news heading into the week before Monday Night Raw. I think it's going to be a little bit more of a well received type of video. I understand you guys love the live streams and everything like that when it comes to the post shows and all that stuff. But we are going to be doing this every so often. Once again, I'm going to be trying to do one video a week when it comes to news and rumors and stuff like that on every single Sunday. So if you guys like that, make sure to hit that like button as hard as you possibly can. Guys, we got 5 news stories heading into the week today, and I want to really get you guys in gear heading into this week of professional wrestling. And we got some good news stories that we are going to be talking about today. But before we get into that, make sure to hit that like button, turn on the bell for all notifications as you hit that subscribe button, as we are on the road to 700 subscribers. Guys, if you guys don't follow us on social media already, go down in the description below. You guys can also check out all the links that we have for you guys in the store. We got all of our social media links down in the description for everybody that is associated with Outside the Brand. So just go down there and check out any of the links that you guys may have missed on the channel. If you guys missed anything on the channel that happened in the previous week, go check it out. It's all on the homepage for you guys to enjoy. So go follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at PhillyMatt_, and go get the merch. Bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Outside the Brand, and it's merchandise. You guys can go get your hoodies, t-shirts, and much more all over there on Bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Outside the Brand and its merchandise. Guys, we got a stacked week happening for you guys here on Outside the Brand this week, as will be having our Monday Night Raw post show. We'll be having our Tuesdays talk. We will be having our Wednesdays Dynamite. Uh, Hopefully our Wednesdays Dynamite review. If not, that'll be happening on Thursday because I will be live at the event on Dynamite. And we could possibly be seeing our Friday Night SmackDown post show review as well if I do get home early enough. If not, that'll be happening on Saturday. And then next Sunday will be a video just like this one. So, guys, we got a stacked week for you guys. So, just stay tuned, and we will definitely be getting you guys some content for you no matter what you guys are looking for when it comes to WWE or AEW. You will find it right here on Outside the Brand. So, guys, without further ado, I do want to get right into the news for you guys. I want to try to make these videos shorter for you guys. They're not going to be like an hour. They're not going to try. I'm going to try to at least to not make them like an hour or an hour and a half or even 2 hours at that point. I'm going to try to make them a nice, concise type of video, maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on how long I talk about the topic. But guys, it's just going to be a nice consensus type of video for you guys, just short and easy and to the point, and we can just talk about some topics and some news, and then you guys can just leave your thoughts in the comments below about how you guys feel about those type of events. So guys, just let me know what you think about it. If you guys want to see a live version of this, so that way you guys can actually talk to me while we're talking about it, you guys can just let me know. Do some constructive criticism in the comments, and I'll be sure to definitely look at them once this video is published, and you guys will be able to see it, and we'll just see how things go. All right, so just let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this type of a version of a video instead of a live version, and we'll see where things go from there. So let's get right into the news We got 5 news stories to talk about, and the first one we are going to be talking about is this right here. WWE is going to be using the early 1990s format for the King of the Ring event. Triple H is obviously a student of professional wrestling. He's a student of the game and, no pun intended, and a big fan of pro wrestling history. We all know he's a big fan of the old school type of mentality. Following our last report that WWE is looking to bring back the King of the Ring tournament as a standalone event, there is speculation about how the company would handle that event. Would WWE use the original format in a single night event or a tournament type of feel, or do what they've always done for recent years, where they have some certain matches, semifinals, and finals would take place at an actual event, while the opening rounds would be taking place on television, like a Monday Night Raw or a Friday Night SmackDown? WrestleVotes on Twitter told Give Me Sport that there is a good chance that an event is coming back to the tournament while play will play out in a single night. My bad. Quote, and this is a quote from WrestleVotes. There's a very good chance that King of the Ring is back and likely be in the format that had happened in the late 80s. The idea is that every single match in the tournament will happen that night. And I think that's fantastic. I really do. The Twitter account then added in the 1990s, a lot of the matches happened on Superstars and Raw, while the semifinals and the finals happened at the pay per view. If that's going to come back on pay per view, which I would say is probably going to happen, you're going to see a full one night tournament. End quote. The original report also stated that this standalone King of the Ring premium live event would also include the Queen of the Ring tournament. So obviously, when we had the Queen's Crown tournament I believe it was last year or in 2020, you guys can correct me in the comments. Uh, when we had the Queen's Crown tournament, we also had that. That's also technically known as the Queen of the Ring. So not only would this live event have the King of the Ring tournament, but it would also have a Queen of the Ring tournament as well, which I would absolutely love. Don Morocco won the uh, won the inaugural 1985 tournament at at a house show, and the first ever King of the Ring pay-per-view event aired on aired in the year 1993, which was won by Bret the Hitman Hart. Due to the declining buy rates, Vince McMahon canceled the yearly pay-per-view event after the 2022 edition of the show. Now, I think this is great. I really do think this is great because now me, personally, I wasn't alive during those pay-per-view events where they had the entire King of the Ring tournament in one night, but I do know from talking to people that obviously were alive at that time that those were some of the best events happening all year. Now, I like it mainly because you can legitimately put this as a top 5 type pay-per-view and add it to the big 4, and you can make it a big 5 when it comes to SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. You can put King of the Ring in there and you can have it just be a marquee event happening within the calendar year. You can also make the King of the Ring a lot more important by putting stakes on the line, and the winner of the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournaments would have a championship match at that year's SummerSlam. So you can replace Money in the Bank, the Money in the Bank pay per view, and put the King of the Ring tournament instead on that month. And you can have the winner of those tournaments go into next month at SummerSlam and have championship matches at that event. And like we already said earlier, King of the Ring is a prestigious event enough as it is. So you make those type of stakes that go along with the King of the Ring, it just makes it all the more special. Plus, if you're replacing Money in the Bank and you're putting WrestleMania and you're putting Money in the Bank rather back at WrestleMania, which was already reported, you have Money in the Bank happening on night one and night two, with the women happening on night one, men happening on night two, and then you have the entire King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournaments happening on that one night to get two matches already booked for SummerSlam. That makes all the sense in the world. And puts a lot of that puts a lot of ease on the WWE creative side and Triple H because you already have two matches booked for SummerSlam. And during the road to WrestleMania and getting into the Money in the Bank ladder matches for the men and the women, you obviously do qualifying matches heading into the show of shows at WrestleMania, and you have those two Money in the Bank matches happening on those two nights, one at night one and one at night two. It just makes perfect sense. And I think with the King and Queen of the Ring returning and coming back to the WWE, especially in this type of a format, it just makes for great television because we're probably going to get qualifying matches to get to the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournaments. And it's just going to be a very, very special time to be a WWE fan because it's just bringing back these old concepts and getting these concepts back to prominence and where they actually belonged all along. It's just going to be a great time being a WWE fan. When WWE actually announces everything, when Money in the Bank happens at WrestleMania, when King of the Ring happens in the near future, wherever that does happen, I do believe it should happen before SummerSlam so we can get two matches for SummerSlam. When WWE makes these announcements, it's going to be absolutely fantastic, and people are going to absolutely love it, and they are going to really gravitate towards the way Triple H is running things. And I think Triple H has already done a fantastic job enough as it is. Has he had some questionable decisions as of late? Yes, obviously with Austin Theory losing the Money in the Bank briefcase when he cashed in on an open challenge for a mid card championship like the United States title, but to me, that was just Triple H trying to correct a wrong. And when he's trying to just correct a wrong, when Theory should have never won the Money in the Bank briefcase to begin with, it was just him trying to say, hey, you know what, we're just going to do a complete reset, not only with Austin Theory, but for the Money in the Bank briefcase as well. We're going to get it back to WrestleMania and we're going to get it back to the prominence that it definitely should be. It's just a hard reset, right? And we're going to get Money in the Bank back to its prominence, back to where it should have been all along and back to having actual some meaning behind it. And then we're gonna have King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring happen as well, so that we can get those things back into prominence as well. Because the last time we had King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring, it was Xavier Woods and Zelina Vega, and nothing against Zelina and nothing against Xavier Woods. I love both of them. I really do. I think Zelina is actually doing some of the best work right now with Legado del Fantasma, and Xavier Woods has always been great. But the fact of the matter is that when they won the King of the Ring and Queen's Crown tournaments, nobody gave a fuck. Nobody gave a fuck. And if you did, I mean, that's good for you. I appreciate that you really like these, like these two as much as you did. But let's be real. What did they do with them? What did they do with him after winning King of the Ring and Queen's Crown? Nothing. They did absolutely nothing. So getting it back to prominence, putting it back to where it really should belong as a big type of pay-per-view event is going to make it all the more special. So I absolutely love it. Triple H is doing the right thing there, and I can't wait for when it's announced. Up next, we got WWE is planning for craziness for War Games matches at Survivor Series. As we all know, Survivor Series is now going to be featuring two War Games matches, one for the men and one for the women. And WWE is looking to have some craziness happen in those matchups. Now, Brian Alvarez reported on his Twitter super followers feed that fans can expect some craziness at Survivor Series during the War Games matches. The reason for this is WWE needing footage for future video packages, and what they have now is just from the NXT portions of their War Games matches. Most of the footage that they have primarily featured NXT talent that is no longer with the company. Because let's face it, Bruce and Triple H, and not Bruce and Triple H. Triple H is fine. Triple H did nothing wrong. Bruce and Vince McMahon, they fired everybody that Triple H had basically in power, or basically just had a Triple H footprint. They got fired. The first War Games match happened in NXT back in 2017, and every wrestler that was involved in that match is no longer with WWE. That match in favor featured the Undisputed Era, and the only real Undisputed Era member technically is Roderick Strong, and we haven't seen Roderick Strong in months. Versus the Authors of Pain in Akam and Razor, and Insanity. So it was a 3-team type of War Games match, which was absolutely fantastic, and I think that was a fantastic War Games match to kick things off. If you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. In 2018, the Undisputed Era faced a team of Pete Dunne, Ricochet, the War Raiders, or the Viking Raiders nowadays in WWE, and oh, that was it. Yeah, Pete Dunne, Ricochet, and the War Raiders. Again, a great match in NXT War Games' history. And in 2019, which I personally think was my favorite one out of everything because of a return that happened to NXT, it was the Undisputed Era. The Undisputed Era were basically the king of War Games back in NXT, taking on Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic, and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens returned to NXT for that War Games match, and it was just an absolutely fantastic match. Again, I think that was the best one out of everybody for the men's side of War Games when it comes to NXT. And Kevin Owens coming back made it all the more special. Go watch that if you haven't already. But yeah, fantastic stuff right there. In 2020, the Undisputed Era faced off against Pat McAfee, Pete Dunne, Danny Burch, and Oney Lorcan, which I thought was fine. I really did. I thought that match was pretty cool to see. But the fact of the matter is that it was 2020. They were stuck in the Performance Center. They're still stuck in the Performance Center now, but they at least made it a lot more appealing. Having War Games in 2020 in the gymnasium of the WWE Performance Center did not really fit well with me, and it really should not have happened. The match is fine for what it was, but it's just it just didn't sit right with me, right? War Games is such a spectacular type of event. You did it in a gymnasium. I wouldn't have had it if that was the case. The only footage that include it's the only footage that actually includes all current talent uh, that happened in last year's War Games, which featured Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, and LA Knight. That was Team Black and Gold versus Team 2.0 and Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, and Tony D'Angelo. So that's really the only footage that they got, and now they're going to try to get some craziness heading into these War Games matches for Survivor Series so that they actually have some footage with people that are actually employed with the company. So I think that's going to be a great thing to see. And I can't wait to see how they really go about War Games this year. Um, I think what we are really going to be able to see is obviously the bloodline because Roman, the Usos, Sami Zayn, and Solo Sikoa, and it is going to be 5-on-5 this year, just like it always should be, because it's also Survivor Series, so you make it 5-on-5, versus the team of the Brawling Brutes, and that includes Sheamus, so Sheamus, Rich Holland, and Pete Dunne, or Butch, now that they're calling him. And then you have Drew McIntyre being involved because he got involved on Friday Night SmackDown. And then we just need one more. We just need one more, and I do believe Kevin Owens will be filling out that final spot because let's face it, he does have the experience of War Games in the past because of NXT. And the whole story right, is when Kevin Owens was talking to Sami Zayn about this whole thing about being an honorary Uce and all that stuff. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are the story. So you have Kevin Owens come back to War Games, and you just make it happen, and you're good to go there. You honestly, the way I would do it is you would have the Brawling Brutes and Drew McIntyre try to find somebody, try to find a partner, throughout the weeks heading into Survivor Series, and they just can't find anybody. So it looks like they're going to go into War Games 5-on-4. But on Survivor Series War Games Day, you have them go into this 5-on-4, right? And then the mystery partner for Team Brawling Brutes and Drew McIntyre, the mystery partner then turns out to be Kevin Owens, and you just do a special reveal happening then, and you have him return at Survivor Series. I think that would be absolutely great. You'd get a massive pop from the fans in Boston, and it's just a great way to bring Kevin Owens back. And then you have Sami Zayn having a shot face and all that kind of stuff. You can legitimately play that up to the story of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and it just works out perfectly. So that's what I would do. Let me know what you guys would do when it comes to Kevin Owens' involvement in War Games in the comment section below. I think it's just going to be great. And whatever craziness they have planned for the War Games matches happening at Survivor Series, I love it. I love it already, and we haven't even seen it yet. So just give it to me, and I will be, just happy as a clam for it. So it's just going to be very, very fun for War Games happening at Survivor Series, which should be a yearly thing, and I do believe that it will from now on. Up next, we have John Cena returning to the ring at WrestleMania 39. I do believe he will, and this is what the reports say. John Cena returned to WWE television to celebrate his 20th anniversary with the company this past June on Monday Night Raw, where he was introduced by Vince McMahon. Although there was speculation that Cena was going to be in a SummerSlam match with Austin Theory, that did not happen, as instead Cena slated that he was not sure when he was going to be wrestling again. As we all know, Vince McMahon during that time, he was under investigation. And let's just say that, I mean, I just don't think Cena would want to get involved in any of that, or at least have his name associated with the WWE at that time. So I think he kind of just said, you know what, I'm going to be stepping back a little bit. I want to have this match with Theory. I want to help this kid out. I want to, do what is right for the company and do what is right for Theory. But I can't compromise my name and my career as, a movie star if things are happening right now where I know it just should not be the case. So I'm going to step back and we'll possibly have this match at a later time. While speaking to Give Me Sport, WrestleVotes noted that Cena is expected to be wrestling at WrestleMania 39 next year in Los Angeles, although it is unclear who he would be wrestling at the event. The Twitter account stated, WrestleVotes stated, and I quote, Cena should be there and Cena should be wrestling. There's speculation that Cena would be less likely to wrestle for WWE following Vince's departure, but according to WrestleVotes, that is certainly not the case. Quote by WrestleVotes, I know he touches base every so often, and although Vince is out of the picture, Cena still loves the WWE. He still has love for the place. Cena and Triple H have an utmost respect for each other. End quote. WrestleVotes explained that Cena wants to become the next Rock, and a match at WrestleMania 39 in LA would help with that. Quote, WrestleMania is still WrestleMania, and it's in Los Angeles. Cena is legitimately trying to become the next Rock. You should perform at WrestleMania in Hollywood, and I think he'll be there, and I think it'll be in a wrestling type of capacity. I'll leave it at that. End quote. As previously reported, WWE wants to do Roman Reigns versus The Rock at WrestleMania 39. but it all depends on The Rock's schedule and if he will be free to do it. Now, let's step back for a second. Cena wants to wrestle at WrestleMania 39, and I think that's perfectly fine, and I think that's absolutely perfectly valid because he wants to do something with the WWE. Now, if you get Cena on the WrestleMania 39 card in Los Angeles, and if The Rock versus Roman Reigns does happen at WrestleMania 39, that is a huge card for WWE, and that is already only just 2 matches announced, right? Cena involved in a match and The Rock involved in a match is huge. It's huge. Now, obviously, they're not going to be facing each other. It's not going to be Cena versus The Rock 3, which I do believe would be absolutely fantastic, but that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. If any match is happening for The Rock, it's against Roman Reigns. It's against the Tribal Chief, and that's just a given. But it got me thinking, who should Cena wrestle if he does come for WrestleMania 39? And I have 4 names for you guys, and I've seen these just go around social media. So take these with a so just take this with a grain of salt and everything like that. Take these names with a grain of salt, but I do want to hear what you guys think about these 4 matches that Cena could possibly have at WrestleMania 39 in the comments. Obviously, Austin Theory. Now, Austin Theory, he obviously was supposed to face him at SummerSlam that year, but obviously he stepped back because of everything that was going on with the investigation and Vince McMahon. So, if he wants to do this match with Theory, you can have it at WrestleMania, and it would be great to see, mainly because of everything that happened with Theory this year. I think Theory being on the mic with John Cena would really help the kid out in many ways, and you can just see him progress more as a heel versus the babyface and, the biggest babyface in all of the WWE in John Cena. And it works out perfectly for both of them because Cena helps out the kid, and, you know, Vince really saw John Cena in Austin Theory anyway, so it just has all the parallels, and it makes sense. If this match is happening at SummerSlam but couldn't, you can do it at WrestleMania if you can get that out of the way. Up next, and this could be something that you guys are probably going to be wanting to see as well, Edge. Edge. And I really do think that this is a perfect storm in a way because Edge, he made an announcement, I believe, in like the last Raw in like Toronto or whatever, that he was going to be retiring soon. This is basically his final run, and this is his final year. If Edge is retiring, it should be like his final WrestleMania and basically his final like big moment and big main event matchup at like a WrestleMania type like pay-per-view should be up against one of his greatest rivals. And I think John Cena is one of his greatest rivals when you really step back and look at it. I think Edge is really one of Cena's greatest rivals too. I mean, you talk about CM Punk, you talk about The Rock, you talk about Triple H, you talk about obviously Randy Orton because Randy Orton and Cena have had so many matches together. But Edge is legitimately one of the greatest rivals in John Cena's career, period. And it's vice versa for Edge's career as well. So if you want Edge to go out on a bang, and if you want Cena to just have a marquee match heading into WrestleMania, you have Edge. Now, if Edge was a part of Judgment Day, you can make it basically with the Judgment Day and John Cena, but obviously that's not the case anymore. I don't know what type of story you would do. I really don't. But whatever way that you would do it, WWE and Triple H and John Cena and Edge would make the most sense out of it, and they would find a way to get this possible. And to make it make sense, because it does make sense for both sides to get this match done and over with before it's too late. And you got things in the bag once it all is said and done. So, if anything, Edge could be a possibility. And I like that. Number 3, the guy had a fantastic match with Roman Reigns as of late, Logan Paul. Imagine the mic work between Logan Paul and John Cena alone. That right there is fantastic. Logan Paul, I know he got injured in his match with Roman, and that sucks. But if he's ready in time for WrestleMania, which it's a long shot, it definitely is a long shot now that we know the severity of Logan's injury with the torn ACL, MCL, and medial meniscus. It's a long shot. But let's say if Logan Paul was not injured, you would not want to see a Logan Paul versus John Cena matchup? Logan Paul versus John Cena would be fantastic. And if he's ready by April next year, Logan Paul would have a fantastic match with John Cena. Not only because of the mic work alone, but because of the ability that Logan Paul has within the ring. And John Cena, he he's in phenomenal shape. So the fact of the matter is, if John Cena wanted to do something with Logan Paul, he would be totally down to do it, and he would be absolutely game to do whatever it takes to get Logan Paul as over as Roman Reigns did back at Crown Jewel. Yeah, Crown Jewel. For some reason, I was thinking the other Saudi event, but Super Showdown or the Greatest Royal Rumble thing that hasn't happened in years. So, Crown Jewel. Yeah. So, honestly, if anything, Logan Paul would be a fantastic choice for John Cena. And I know this one's a long shot, but I mean, obviously, this guy wrestled against Kevin Owens last year at WrestleMania. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Imagine if Stone Cold Steve Austin faced off against John Cena at WrestleMania 39 in LA. Now, Stone Cold is already rumored to basically be, trying to get ready to get back inside the ring once again. And if it ever were to be happening, it would be happening at WrestleMania. It's two generational talents, two generations going head to head at WrestleMania in Los Angeles on the grandest stage of them all. It would be phenomenal. Stone Cold Steve Austin is looked at as the most profitable WWE superstar within the company's history, one of the most popular superstars within the WWE's history. And John Cena, he's looked at as one of the greatest, if not the greatest superstar in all of the WWE of all time. John Cena versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. I get that is a very, very long shot that this could possibly be happening. But if you want two generations within the ring, just like you had two generations of The Rock and John Cena back at WrestleMania 28 and 29 for once in a lifetime and twice in a lifetime, this is legitimately a once in a lifetime type matchup. And you do not want to miss on an opportunity like this if this match is at all possible. And with Stone Cold Steve Austin having a great match at WrestleMania 39 that year, or WrestleMania 38 last year with Kevin Owens. And he looked great in what he did in that match. Don't get me wrong. If they can have a match like that with Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin, what makes anybody think that they can't try to do the same thing with John Cena and Stone Cold? Obviously, Cena would take care of Stone Cold. Obviously, Stone Cold would take care of John Cena and make sure nothing bad happens to any of them. It doesn't have to be like it would just it's just a generation versus generation type matchup. And if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it as soon as you possibly could. It's a long shot. It's a long shot, and I know that. But just imagine Stone Cold versus John Cena. Just saying. It would be absolutely incredible. We got two more news stories before we get the hell out of here. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me right here on Outside the Brand, episode 276. And guys, if you guys liked what you have heard so far, make sure to hit that like button. Uh, and I'm just gonna continue to go through everything again. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell for all notifications. That way you never miss when we go live. We go live every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday for you guys. And then we're gonna be trying to do this type of an episode every single Sunday, whether that's live or just pre-recorded. Every Sunday, you guys will be getting at least 4 to 5 news stories from me personally, and we're just gonna be talking things out. And I think this has been an absolutely great episode so far. I think we've talked about some great topics, and it's just been an absolute blast recording this for you guys. So if you guys liked what you heard so far, hit the thumbs up, and I'll be sure to come back for more. Up next, we got Bray Wyatt reportedly wanting Triple H to bring back 2 former WWE superstars. Now, who are these former superstars? Let's get into the report. Triple H has brought back several release talent since taking over the main roster creative side of things from Vince McMahon, and that is including the Eater of Worlds, the Fiend, just all the nicknames of Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt returned to the WWE, as we all know, back at Extreme Rules. Yes, yes. Bray Wyatt just returned. We all know this, right? And now that WWE has returned, and now that Wyatt has returned to the WWE, there are 2 people that he wants to work with now that Triple H is in control. According to WrestleVotes, a Twitter account that has broken various stories within the past, we all know how incredible WrestleVotes is. Erick Rowan, formerly part of the Wyatt family, and Bray's real life brother Bo Dallas are the 2 names that Bray wants to work with. The reports suggested that Wyatt has so much sway in the creativity when it comes to his stuff right now because of his popularity, and the higher ups in WWE would bring them back to choose if those 2 superstars were interested. Quote from WrestleVotes: "There's people that Bray likes, people he wants to work with." WrestleVotes told Give Me Sports, "Bo Dallas is one of them, and so is Erick Rowan. If Eric wants to come back, I'm sure they'd allow that, and Bray also wanted it." End quote. Fans have been speculating the identity of the Uncle Howdy character that has been revealed, which may have already been revealed after fans pointed out a similarity. That similarity was a cross earring that Bo Dallas used to wear back in his in his final days at WWE. He had a cross earring on his right ear. So they pointed out the same similarity, and they're thinking and now correlating that Uncle Howdy could be Bo Dallas. F4W's online Brian Alvarez previously reported that Dallas is expected to be coming back to the WWE soon, which would make sense for Dallas to be in the group that his brother will ultimately lead, the White Six. Rowan being in the group would also make sense due to their history with them being a part of the Wyatt family. WWE has also considered 2 outside of the company names for this faction, which you could read here, which, if I do click here, we all know the report that happened where Dutch and Vincent from Ring of Honor were slated to be a part of the Wyatt Six. Now, we don't know much about Dutch and Vincent's involvement. Vincent was backstage at the Monday Night Raw event where they did the DX reunion, right? But I mean, Vincent could have just been back there just to, support DX. We don't know that for sure, but other than that, Vincent was backstage at that Monday Night Raw at that Monday Night Raw taping. So I mean, we'll see if things go. We'll see where things go from there. But Dutch and Vincent's names were, you know, just thrown around there to be a part of the White Six. Now, Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt being legitimate brothers. Bo Dallas has been wanting to work with Bo Dallas for so long, and it does make all the sense in the world to be pairing those two together. And bringing Erick Rowan back to being paired up with Bray Wyatt to be a part of the Wyatt Six makes all the sense in the world as well, because of the stuff with the Wyatt family, and it just makes a great amount of deal. Plus, you know, with everything that happened with Brody Lee, may he rest in peace. Bo Dallas wants, not Bo, Bray Wyatt wants to do everything in his power to make sure that Erick Rowan's, legacy is, felt. What did I say? I say Bo Dallas's legacy is felt. That Luke Harper or Brody Lee's legacy has been felt, and we've already seen that, right? We see when why do I have Bo Dallas on the freaking mind? I apologize. Um, we already see that in when Bray Wyatt he walks through that door. That is a special tribute to when Brody Lee debuted in AEW when he was the Exalted One. So that right there is already a little ode to Brody Lee and Luke Harper there. And then you have obviously when we saw all the characters come to life, Abby the Witch, if you saw that, it had the Bludgeon Brothers mask, and that is the mask that not Rowan but Harper wore when he was a part of the Bludgeon Brothers. So there's already just little intricacies when it comes to Luke Harper's involvement in everything that is happening with the Wyatt Six. So he wants to keep Luke Harper, Brody Lee's legacy involved in all of this, and if he wanted to bring back his former tag team partner in Erick Rowan, it just makes sense. And I think it's just a great way to keep Harper's legacy alive. And it's just a great thing to keep the Huber family, just in our thoughts, right? After everything that happened with Harper when he's sadly left this earth, and it's just a great way. And obviously, Bray Wyatt wants to be, a part of keeping that legacy alive. So if Bray Wyatt wants Bo Dallas and Erick Rowan back within the WWE, I would hope that Triple H would want to, carry out that message and carry out that legacy and help Bray Wyatt spread the message that he wants to spread in any way that he possibly could. I think it's great. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's the best way to keep things going for the Bray Wyatt story, because Bray Wyatt is going to tell the story that he wants to tell. And if Bray Wyatt has all this pull, as much as, all these reports are saying, we could be seeing Bo Dallas and Erick Rowan back within the WWE within the next few weeks. And I think that's going to be an absolutely fantastic way to continue the Wyatt story. So I'm down with it. We'll just have to see where things go from there, and we'll all be keeping a close eye as to what Wyatt's story has in store. And finally, the final story heading out of everything is WWE star is returning to in-ring action soon. Now, this superstar is none other than the glorious Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode is expected to return to the ring in the near future and could even be switching WWE brands once he returns. In September, The veteran wrestler indicated on Instagram that he is dealing with some injuries as he posted a photo of the South Lake Orthopedics in Birmingham, Alabama, and mentioned returning home after what he had hoped to be a successful trip. Roode thanks South Lake and Andrew Sports Medicine, which usually handles surgeries that have had with injured WWE superstars within the past. He also attached a photo to the post and indicated that he underwent surgery, but he did not elaborate as to why he was visiting the doctors. Hopefully, and it's most likely, that he was going to the doctors to see if he was medically cleared to get back within the ring. And I think having Bobby Roode back would just be an absolutely fantastic addition to whatever roster they are thinking of adding him to. Now, PW Insider reported that Bobby Roode is spotted in Birmingham, Alabama on Wednesday, and WWE officials will be hoping to bring him back from his injury issues very soon. Although he is still listed on the Raw roster, there is talks to have him go to the SmackDown roster once he does return. So he would be switching from Monday Night Raw to Friday Night SmackDown, which I do believe is the right move because SmackDown needs a lot more talent and SmackDown needs a lot more credible talent, and Bobby Roode adds to that credibility. There's still no word on why Roode has been out of action. We never knew that he was injured. No news reports came out that he was injured. Nothing really came out that he was taking time off from WWE. We never even knew about it. It was just a quiet exit from WWE, and Roode looks like he's going to be cleared sorry. Roode looks like he's going to be coming back very soon, but we just never even knew that he left. Right? We never even knew that he was injured. Nothing came out. So Roode was aligned with Dolph Ziggler before he went away. But it looks like now that he's moving over to the Friday Night SmackDown brand, that's not going to be the case, which I do believe is fantastic. They are breaking up the dirty dogs. Roode will go back to being a single superstar, and we'll see where things go from there. Now, what version of Bobby Roode do we want? I want Bobby Roode, first of all. I don't want Robert. Robert's too proper. I want Bobby. And honestly, if we brought the it factor to WWE, I think that would be cool. But the biggest and the best version of Bobby Roode that I want to see is NXT Bobby Roode. NXT Bobby Roode, the blue robe, the glorious theme song, one of the greatest heels within NXT's history when he was over there. The glorious Bobby Roode should be the version of Bobby Roode we get once he does return to the WWE. If you guys haven't seen the glorious Bobby Roode and his run in NXT, I definitely urge you guys to go check it out because Bobby Roode was definitely looked at as one of the best heels within NXT's history at that time. If you don't believe me, just go check it out for yourself. It's all on there. And it's a great, great character that Bobby played. And it's just a perfect way to bring him back. Get the glorious theme song back because they took that away from him. Get it back, get the blue robe back, get everything back to the way it was, back to his NXT roots, and bring him back as glorious Bobby Roode, and people would go absolutely nuts when it happens. Bobby Roode was even backstage on Friday Night SmackDown, so it's happening. Bobby Roode is happening, and Bobby Roode is coming back to the WWE eminently. We just got to figure out where he fits and what is going to be the best course of action for his return. I don't know how that's going to happen, but it's going to be great when it does. Get it to happen and get it to be glorious Bobby Roode, and we are going to be set. Now, I like Bobby Roode mainly because it just adds another name to the roster. Would he be going after Roman Reigns? I have no idea. But the fact of the matter is that it adds another great name to that mid card roster, and he fits perfectly within that Intercontinental Championship. You know, he fits perfectly within that mid card spot. Obviously, Gunther is the Intercontinental Champion right now, and obviously, it's not going to be Gunther versus Bobby Roode. But the fact of the matter is, Bobby Roode fits perfectly within the Intercontinental Championship scene. And it's just a great way to get him back. And putting him on SmackDown was the right call. We don't know where it's going to happen. We don't know when it's going to happen. But Bobby Roode coming back and going to Friday Night SmackDown is the right call. And I fully support it. I just want glorious Bobby Roode to be coming back. And guys, that's it. That's all the news that I got for you guys here tonight. I thought this was a very, very well thought out episode, and I think this was very well, you know, just it was a great idea that I had being on here on a Sunday night, giving you guys, 4 to 5 news stories and just talking about some topics heading into the week. Now, if you guys like this type of a video, I do urge you guys to hit the like button. I know this is my third time going over everything, but just hit the like button, turn on the bell, subscribe to the channel. And if you guys like this type of a format, just let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this as a pre-recording, that's cool. Just tell me about it. If you guys want to see me do this live instead, tell me and I'll do it live. It's no problem. Just do some constructive criticism in the comments. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like about these type of videos, and I'll be sure to accommodate you guys. I love doing these type of videos. I think this was a great first episode of, this type of a format for you guys. And we'll see where things go from here. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. If you guys liked what you heard, again, like button, subscribe, turn on the bell, go to the links down in the description below. Follow us all on social medias and bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Outside the Brand and its merchandise. Go get everything that you guys are looking for. Go check out any of the videos you may have missed from last week on the channel, all on the homepage. Go follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at @PhillyMatt_. And guys, we'll be seeing you guys tomorrow, but in the Monday Night Raw post show on Outside the Brand. I'll talk to you guys soon, guys. Have a good rest of the night. Stay safe. God bless. And peace.